the paratroopers came down there, wanted to know what was going on. We told them, and they arrested quite a few of the so-called civilians, which were German soldiers that were going to attack. And then from there, we started going down on the Autobahn, and we went all the way to Bad Reichenhall. That was that was our stopping point. And when we got to Bad Reichenhall, it's just a short way from Berchtesgaden. And when we got to Bad Reichenhall, we stayed there for a while, and with some incidents happened there. But we went to the Berchtesgaden, and when we arrived there, it had been bombed quite badly. But when I got in there, I accidentally, I don't know why, I got the handle of the conference door, and I still have it, and I'll show it to you in a few minutes. And when we got inside there, it was pretty well shattered. The elevator was out, and I took quite a few pictures there, incidentally. I'll show you those. Some of them. And I was scared to take pictures. I picked up a camera here in the United States at one of the Rexall stores for about $1.98. It only take 12 pictures of a 127 camera. And I had the feeling that maybe they would confiscate that thing, you know. I had some film, I think about 4 rolls, but I didn't start taking pictures till March. And anyway, when we got into Berchtesgaden, it was nothing elaborate about the thing yet, in my estimation. But the conference room was huge. There's a big area there. And prior to that, I didn't mention this, but when we went to a place called Memmingen. Now, I had been on a number of advance parties, they call them. And when we got to Memmingen, we stayed at a German general's home, which was quite abandoned. He had Arabian horses, he had BMW motorcycles, he had a number of vehicles there, and so the fellows started riding them all over the place and ride the horses too. And in that area, I picked up quite a few pictures that I had, this general had acquired, and that was my souvenir, you might say. And among those, I have some pictures of, believe it or not, I had a picture of Anne Lindbergh with some ladies. I don't know where it's at right now, but I don't have it available right here. And then I also picked up some pictures of Laval, who was a premier of France, who was considered a pro-Nazi, and one of the envoys from Japan got his picture, and quite a number of other pictures that I had, and they're large prints. But anyway, at one time, prior to going to Memmingen, I went to a place as an advance party. We were going to get a clearing place. We picked up an area near Kaiserslautern, Germany, and we told the Bürgermeister, who was the mayor of that city, to get out of the building with his family because he lived in the same building. And he got out and with his family and went downstairs and killed his wife and kids and himself for Hitler. He had a note there. And when we were at Bad Reichenhall, I'm kind of jumping around, I'm sorry. Hitler's home was nearby, and I was able to go into his home, and it was bombed pretty bad, but I was able to get some books that I put together, and I shipped them to the University of Nebraska at Omaha, and unfortunately they received them, but they disappeared. And nearby was Barman's home, across the street, you might say. I've been in that house, and he had a very large piano in the place, and I guess he's quite a music enthusiast. And nearby was also Goring's place, and in Goring's place, we found, I didn't see him, but paintings from the Louvre and from other galleries in France, even some galleries from Italy, believe it or not. I don't know how he acquired them, but they did, and they looked them up and tried to return them back to the museum. I'm sure some of those were lost too, so that people use them as souvenirs. But this first place that I told you about, where this fellow killed his wife, himself, and kids, there's a microscope there, a Zeiss microscope, and one of the officers there said that this should be your to use when you go to medical school. And I took it and replaced it with in my foot locker with a brand new microscope, which was out of this world. That'd probably be worth about $20,000 or better. Also found a lot of, in my travels there, found a lot of Lugers and P-38s that were hidden in farmhouses and so forth. and there were some potato mashers there. At one time on my trek there, the officer in charge told us that we should take our clothing off and get them washed and so forth, and put the rest of them in drawers of one of the areas that I could acquired for quarters at the moment. And I went to open up the door and I picked a live hand grenade, and I picked it up and I tossed it very fast. I don't know, just quick, and nobody got hurt. It exploded, and nobody was injured.
Wow.
And so I saved myself.
So when you got out of the service, when did you get out?
Well, after 1944, I got out. Actually, November 45 was when I was discharged, but I was supposed to discharge. So what I did when we were in Germany, I had gone to Bad Gassy in Austria, and then I had applied to go to Greece as an interpreter or help in that particular capacity, and I was rejected. I don't know what the reasons for it. They told me that I was going to be the nucleus of a group that was heading out to Burma.
Oh.
And at Burma, we were supposed to hit Japan with our airborne outfit, but we were kind of an advanced party, you might say.
How did you feel when you heard about the bomb being dropped on Japan?
I didn't know about that until later. And this first ship that I was telling you, the second ship, first ship that I was on, the Leopoldville, found out in the Stars and Stripes that it was shelled by the Germans submarine down at Cherbourg, France, and they lost there's different variations of numbers, 800 and 900 people got killed and unaccounted for. And anyway, I read not too long ago that they were going to try to consume that ship. They were able to find it, but I don't know if they've done anything with it or not. But their body's still in there.
I've asked every veteran we've interviewed about when they got back to the United States.
Yes.
Tell me about your trip back to Omaha. Did you take the train, and what was it like when you walked down the steps of your home?
Initially, I was supposed to be discharged. I left the nearest port that we got to was in Virginia, Hampton Roads, Virginia. And then we took our trip back to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. Then they had so many people being discharged, they gave us furloughs. They kept furloughing us back and forth from Omaha to Fort Leavenworth. I get back, and my son said, "Well, you better get back to home again." And when I got home, I had to tell him I'm going back to Fort Leavenworth. And I was going to get married, and they kept doing this repeatedly. I think at least a period of 6 times. And so we thought we could be able to negotiate so we'd get married. And we tried, and finally they were going to send me to Idaho because they were also discharging people out there. That was a naval station, actually. But anyway, we finally got discharged and supposed to get married, and I got discharged in November, from August to November, back and forth, trips on the train. But this one time we had a very bad episode down in Kansas City where they had floods, and so we had to go on box. The train went on top of large railroad ties and go about 10 miles an hour, 5-10 miles an hour across this one area, and the homes were all over the place there.
Here's a question,
Yes.
just down to the end here.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, this interview will be shown after your death, probably for years, to students, and maybe they can learn something. What message do you have to future generations or younger people about what your generation accomplished? What's the lesson to be learned?
Well, I think it's a temporary lesson myself, because we continue to have wars, and there's got to be a better understanding and learn the philosophy of the different nations that we're being involved with, you might say, in combat, and to keep and step up and adhere to the principles that we're always adhere to, and it's freedom. And those principles are undying principles, as far as I'm concerned. And
I want you to look at Jay. We're having everybody salute the camera. I want you to salute and hold your salute until Jay gets it, okay? So go ahead and salute.
I'm trying. My hand's bad.
Thank you very much. Now,
Yes.
the doorknob and whatever you have. Hang on, let's take your mic off.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
And Jay can shoot that